My name is Ann Barlet. I'm Public Advocacy and Outreach Manager for the agency. We have a very special show for you this evening. In recognition that May is Older Americans Month, we are recognizing and celebrating our centenarians during this show. We have approximately 150 centenarians who reside in Berks County, and so we will be having a formal celebration in recognition and honor of the folks that have turned 100 years of age or older, or who will be 100 this year, by a special party celebration May 11th. Today, we're going to be talking to a few of those centenarians. Well, this is Margaret DiLullo, and thank you for being with us today, Margaret. I appreciate your time. I know you're a busy lady. Margaret is, if you don't mind my saying your age, you're 101, and will be 102 this year.
Right.
Let's talk about your life after high school. What did you do?
After high school, because I was so unhappy with the life I had, I got married soon.
Okay.
And I married Jesse Herneisen and had 2 children.
Okay.
Jackie Herneisen Kendall and Lee Herneisen. Jackie lives in this area. My son lives in Winchester, Virginia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you spend your life as a married woman? Were you a homemaker? Did you work?
I worked at CNA for 25 years. Okay. I was a supervisor of policy typing.
Oh, okay.
And we lived together for 47 years. Then my husband died. And after 3 years, I got married again.
And I shouldn't ask what age that was, should I? All righty. So you started another life with another gentleman.
So I started another life, yes.
Okay.
And I married George DiLullo and had a very nice life with him. And in the winters, we went to Fort Myers, Florida.
Oh, nice.
And there we joined a group. We lived in kind of an old folks a community, more or less, and we had real good times. We had a big swimming pool, and we played bocce ball and went for hikes and had hot dog roasts. And then, best of all, we formed a group that was a theater group.
Oh, wow.
And I was on that group and on the stage till I was 90 years old.
Wow.
And that's when I stopped going to Florida because my husband had died too. And in fact, the men down there said, "Don't go for her because you'll be number 3.
So tell me about the theater. Were you doing theater here as well, or was that something you picked up down there?
Yes, I just picked that up down there.
My.
Although when I was small, real small, my mother had me taking dancing lessons, and I was a singer.
Okay.
And
so you put them to good use, singing and dancing, and then decided to try theater.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite show or favorite role that you may have had?
No, because I danced in the show and I sang, and the thing that I did mostly, they thought I was best at, was being a comedian. So I was a comedian, and I got to really like that. And I was also a magician.
Oh my! How did you learn that?
I liked that too, and I wasn't one of these great magicians, but everybody seemed to like that. And then I got stuck with that title, Margot the Magician. So we went, a couple of weeks ago, I went to Lancaster to a show, and the show was menopause, and there were only 4 women in that show. So at the end of the show, they invited people to come up on the stage. They wanted to form a chorus line. And they went to different people, and they came to me, took my hand and pulled me up like, "You're coming up here." I said, "Oh, no, I can't do that." And then they said, "Why?" I said, "Because I'm 101 years old." And she said, "I know you are, and that's why we want you up there." So the lady that that runs the show, she told him I was 101. But I went up.
Good for you.
I got my old dancing shoes. And anyway, I danced with the chorus line. So I was on the stage again at 101.
Wonderful.
And I loved it. That brought back my old memories of being in Florida.
What kinds of things do you do with your time?
Well, not a whole lot. I keep thinking I'm not doing anything, but I really go to church a lot.
Okay.
I love it at church. And we have Bible study on a Monday morning, and I go to Bible study Monday. And I had a group of girls that I went out with regularly for lunch and that sort of thing. Okay. I think it's really what older people do. They go out for lunch and sit there and have a good talk.
Sure.
And that's what I did.
Okay.
And I'm sorry to say, though, some of those aren't going anymore. They're just not able to go. And so right now, I'm not really doing anything much.
I know that you were telling me you take some trips.
I go on one trip at least once a month.
Okay.
And sometimes 2 trips a month. And I really like that. I guess I'm a show person.
What's your secret to living to be 101? Share that with us all.
Okay, well, I have a big secret, and I usually don't tell people, but I'll tell you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, number 1, I attribute to God. I think He controls that. Okay. And so He's number 1. Mm-hmm. Number 2 is the genes. My great-grandfather was 103.
Wow.
And his grandfather was 97. So the genes are in our family. Mm-hmm. And the third one is drink a glass of Yingling's beer every now and then. That's the real help.
Okay. Well, I'm here with Mr. Clarence Glauner, who likes to be called Dutch.
Yes.
And you just had a recent birthday in March that makes you the ripe old age of 106. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm just going to ask a few questions. Let's talk about you. Did you grow up here in Berks County or not? No. Where did
Chester County.
Chester County. And tell me what you did as a boy in Chester County.
Well, mostly helping my dad do the farm. We lived on a large farm.
Okay. What type of farm was it?
Regular grain farm.
Grain farm, okay.
Hay, back then in 1908. And so my older brother, 4 years older, him and I was always with the farmers helping them.
Okay.
And
what were some of the chores or the responsibilities on the farm that you did?
Well, we didn't have running water. We had to pump our water, and my older brother, 4 years older, Emerson, and I pumped the water for the cows and the horses.
Okay.
That was a lot of pumping.
So you had livestock too?
Oh, we had a dairy and
wow.
Horses, work horses, and driving horses.
Oh, okay. All right.
And
so what were some of the things that you did on the farm?
well, I started helping milk the Easy Cow when I was 6 years old, and then what I liked to do when they had making hay and getting oats and wheat in, Emerson and I was on the wagon, and the men pitched up the hay, and we placed it around the wagon so it wouldn't fall off.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I was 8, he was 14 at the time.
Okay.
And the same thing with wheat and oats.
Okay.
And then we went in the barn and had to place it in the mows again.
And that's pretty hard work, isn't it?
Yes, it was, but you growed up with it, you sort of got used to it.
Yep. Did you want to do something different than farming as you were getting a little older?
No, my dad didn't own that farm. He farmed on the hedge, but then he bought a farm shortly after that near Elverson.
Oh, okay.
They had 108 acres.
Oh, my.
And a dairy and all that goes with the farm.
Wow, 108
so it was
acres.
the same hard work.
That sure was hardwood. Oh my. Well, what did you do for fun as a boy?
How's that?
What did you do for fun as a boy?
Well, we had the old swimming hall.
Okay.
We threw the baseball around a little bit. And one of the games on Saturdays or Sunday afternoon was bag tagger.
What is that? Bag tagger. Okay.
They had a bag in a knot, and if you got hit, you were it.
Oh, okay.
Around the barn, up and down. the barn.
Okay.
Yeah. That was a little game for the little older fellows, but we got into it some too.
Okay. And was the swimming hole on the farm or?
No, it was on the neighbor,
Okay.
and it was up to your neck at the deepest part.
Oh, wow.
It was good, clear water. Water was flowing good.
And cold, I'll bet.
Yeah, oh yeah, the first dip was cold.
All righty. So tell me, what took you off the farm? Did you move off the farm as you got older? As you got into adulthood?
Well, my father passed away in 1922,
Okay.
and that left mother and 8 children, and
Wow. So you're one of 8?
I was 12. This was 1922,
Right.
and then all of us coming 2 years apart.
Okay.
And Bessie, my sister, and then Emerson, and then the young ones. But Emerson and I and Mother and Bessie run the farm for 2 years. Didn't get to school. I missed 7th, 5th, and 6th grade altogether.
Oh,
I hardly got there at all.
Okay.
I did finish school. Somebody wanted to buy the farm after 2 years, and she sold. Said the work was too hard for us.
Sure.
Bought a little house in Honeybrook, and I went 1 year to 8th grade there, and that was the end of my schooling.
Okay. So
But
then
I
what did you
went,
do as an adult?
I went to work at Lancaster at a firm.
In Lancaster?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What type of work did you
Well,
do?
that was called the Ideal Ice Cream Company. They received farmer's milk, bottled it, peddled it around Lancaster with horse and wagons, and I worked in the bottling milk department.
All right. Well, you had experience, huh? Almost
Oh, yeah,
with the milk
I had,
on the farm.
with milk, I know all about it.
How long did you do that work?
Just a short time, less than a year.
Oh, okay. So
But,
what can you tell me? What do you remember, I guess, what sticks out in your mind as far as over time, either changes that have occurred in our area or things that you've been fascinated by, or what do you remember? Is there something that sticks out to you that comes to mind when we say it? What's...
Well, actually, in our area, one thing I remember, the neighbor farmer brought in a tractor. That was news to all the farmers.
Okay.
But it didn't work too well. The farmers sort of got a kick out of fixing it all the time, while their horses are going steady.
Alrighty.
And then, of course, later on, the automobiles, well, they were there too at the time. And
Did you see them as interesting and fascinating, or did you see automobiles as the scary machine?
no, I don't remember paying much attention. Dad bought a second-hand car, touring car, for the family, and he never learned to run it. My brother Emerson and I had a brother 5 years older than Emerson, the first child. He ran it. And I was too young to get into that.
Sure.
But the car was a big help for the family.
So in your adult life, how did you keep yourself busy with if you had any little time available and off, how did you keep yourself busy?
Well, I like to fix things or do things.
Oh, okay. Such as?
They call me the handyman.
Okay.
Well, I remember on the farm, we had horses, colts, and we had a set of wheels. I remember doing this. We had a set of just light buggy wheels for a light wagon
Okay.
with shafts on, sitting in the shed, and I got it out and built a box on it, big enough to set the kids in, and we pulled it around some.
Oh,
But then
nice.
we hooked our colt up to it to see how he would do. Well, he was, mostly they don't like harness and things, but he didn't, he just liked the kids. And they led him around with a couple kids in the box.
Nice, cute, fun. Well, now I know that you keep yourself busy today. I know that you're still not sitting here on that sofa resting and relaxing. How do you keep yourself busy?
Well, I haven't done it yet this year, but last few years went down to Westchester to the newer shop we built,
Oh, okay.
and we still phased out the business, but we still had all our sheet metal tools and things. Made things in the shop. I mowed 3 lawns. I owned 3 houses in the shop there.
Oh, my.
This is just a mile east of Westchester,
Okay.
Route 3.
So you're mowing lawns and you're caring for properties.
Trimmed the shrubbery, cleaned out the rain gutters, and I did that for 2 or 3 years after I retired.
Okay.
And this year, I give up a little bit of the mowing.
I'm going to ask you what the big secret is. Everybody wants to know, since you're 106, what's the secret to living to be 106, Clarence?
Well, I must say, with all the children, my mother was a good cook and
Okay.
a good preparer. And we had big gardens on the farm, all fresh vegetables,
So you ate well?
apples, orchard, and we had our own milk. We had our own pork and beef.
Wow.
Did all that on the farm,
Okay.
and so our
So your secret is that you ate well?
I look forward to a birthday, and I think the condition. Some of my condition was actually hard work. And the farm and all that was hard work, and I think it built me up, my system, to take whatever come along. So I still like to work, and some of the work I do was hard, and some will do. I hope to do this summer will be hard, but just in normal life, I had married. I had a good wife,
Okay.
and I can tell you when or now her age, how long we were.
How long were you married?
Yeah,
How long were you married?
78 years.
Wow. To the same person, huh?
My wife passed away when she was 129 days old here at the
wow.
Highland. But
Wow.
when we come in here early because she was losing her eyesight.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. So both, you have longevity, she had it, and you had it.
And I wanted to tell you,
Yes.
after my mother raising the 8 children, I became a widow when she was 42. Lived to be 100 all but 3 months.
Oh, my goodness.
And she worked around, she lived with my sister the last few years, worked,
Okay.
did part of the housework. You had to fight her to get her away from the dishes.
Well, it sounds like hard work,
Yeah.
and you said healthy eating and a good life was your secret. I am here with Olga Gehris, who is 100 years of age, pushing 101, right? And I wanted to just thank you for taking the time to talk with us today, Olga, and tell us a little bit about, are you a Berks County native? No. Okay,
No.
well, where did you grow up?
Coatesville,
Coatesville.
Pennsylvania.
All righty. Tell me about life growing up in Coatesville.
Well, I really didn't grow up there. I was
Okay.
born there.
Okay.
And then, I don't know how old I was, my father bought a farm, and we lived on that farm for quite a number of years, about 10 years. And then we moved to a little town called Honeybrook. My father thought that, you know, they had good schools there, and he wanted us to have a better education because he was smart. And so then, well, I guess I lived in Honeybrook and many years, I don't remember anymore, but up in my teens.
Okay.
And after that, I got married. I came to Reading, got a job through Aunt Virgie and her daughter at the Berkshire Knitting Mills.
Okay.
And I worked there, I think, for about 12 years.
So tell me what you did at the Berkshire Knitting Mills.
I was a topper.
Tell us what the topper does. Tell me what a topper does at the Berkshire Knitting Mills.
We have this machine in front of us, and you have bars.
Okay.
And you have a pair of stocking. It's just a long leg. And you have to put this stocking, it has a special holes in, and they have to be all even. And you have to put this on this bar.
Okay.
And then you give it to the knitter, and he puts your 12 bars on his machine, and he runs it off, and he makes the leg of the stocking.
Okay.
That's a topper.
All righty. And did you do that? You did that, you said, for 12 years.
Yes.
Well, how did you spend your evenings and your weekends when you weren't working, when you were working?
Oh, dear. I lived with Aunt Virgie, but I can't think of her name anymore, and she's no
Okay.
relation to me, but that's what we called her.
Okay.
And I lived there for many years with her. And,
So did you hop on the trolley and go places?
oh, the trolley. I almost forgot about the trolley. I'll never forget that. I used to ride the trolley to work, and I would always walk home to save the dime.
So it cost a dime one way. Okay.
At least I think it was a dime in those
Okay.
days.
All right.
And then I don't know. I didn't do much of anything because I was tired. You know, when you work 8 hours, and where I was living at that time, I wasn't married then, but I was rooming there at Aunt Virgie's.
Okay.
And her daughter and I, we used to go for walks and different little things like that, like go shopping at downtown.
I was going to say that was downtown on Penn Street, right?
Yes.
And what stores did you like?
Oh, at that time it was like Crowell & Tech was our shoe store.
Yep.
There was a store, I don't know what it was called, but it was where the railroad tracks are. It was over the railroad tracks. There was a corner store there.
Okay.
And I used to go in there and shop around, just look around. Of course, it was nice to look at these things.
Sure.
And Sue and I would do this. And then we'd go home after
No
window
movies?
shop.
Did you go to the movies?
Yeah, I think
Downtown?
we did, but don't ask me what I saw.
That's okay. I don't remember what I saw last week. So you kind of were hanging out downtown and with friends and just doing a little
window
shopping around.
and things like that.
Pomeroy's.
Yeah. Oh, yes, Pomeroy's.
Okay.
Crowell & Tech's shoe store.
How about other things that occurred in your young life, things that happened maybe in the city or around where you lived? Do you remember anything that was, I don't know, different or interesting that comes to mind?
Well, I think this is interesting. When we lived on a farm, my brother had a horse called Dexter. My mother was a horse lady.
Okay.
My sister, I don't know what she called her horse, what the name she gave him. They all had horses. My father decided I needed a horse. I said, Daddy, I don't like horses. I'm afraid of them. He said, you won't be afraid of this one. He said, this is a retired horse that drew the wagons with food in. You know, they used to deliver food like that.
Okay.
And so he brought this horse for me, and I saw him. It was a white horse. He had a big humpback. And I said, Daddy, he looks tired. He said, well, it is a retired horse, honey. I said, what's his name? He said, whatever you want to call him. I said, I'll call him Rags.
Oh,
So he was Rags. And I had him for about 5 years, and then they had to put him to sleep.
But you enjoyed riding Rags?
Oh, no, I wouldn't ride him. Oh, no, I would lead him around the meadow, through the meadows and things like that, around the farm and things like that. Oh, gosh, no, I would never ride on a horse.
Okay.
I was afraid of them. But
I know, that's why I thought, well, maybe you got over it since you seemed to know that he was retired. How about other things that you did like that, whether it was older, as an older adult? Did you and your husband do anything special or different? Did you enjoy?
Well, after I married, I was his daddy. We used to go to bingo a lot.
Okay.
And
what was the payout? Was it cash or produce or?
it depended on the bingo, you know,
Okay.
but it was usually cash, you know.
Okay.
I was a baseball lover.
Oh.
I loved baseball, and when we lived in this 18-room house, my brother got a team up, a baseball team up, and he needed a first baseman. His first baseman was hit by a ball, so he needed one, and I said, Ernie, let me be the first baseman. He said, we don't take girls on. I said, but you need one and you don't want to give it up. They left me play ball. Ever since that, I played on his team, and there was a girl that lived above us. I don't remember her name anymore, but she had a girls' baseball team, and I played on her team. And I loved Pete Rose, and I still, to this day, love baseball and think of Pete Rose, wondering if he's in this
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame. I hope he is. I think he deserved it, because when he used to slide in these bases, you know, I thought that was wonderful.
So who's your favorite baseball team today? Who's your favorite?
Oh, the Phillies.
Okay.
Always the Phillies. I love the Phillies. Even though they're not doing so well, but I love them.
You're hanging in there with them.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you been out here to the Reading Phillies?
Pardon?
Have you gone out to the Reading Phillies games? Our local
I don't
Phillies
think
team?
so.
All righty. Well, you may want to think about that.
Not anymore.
So how do you spend your days now? How do you spend your time?
Sitting here, reading health books.
Okay.
That's all I have here is health books.
Okay.
I always wanted to be a nurse.
Oh, did you? All righty.
And I couldn't stand a needle. And one time the lady said, we'll give you an orange and you'll have to give it a needle.
Injection,
I closed my eyes and gave this orange a needle. She said, you'll never make a nurse as long as you live. You can't close your eyes. So I flunked out.
So no nursing career.
No nurse. But I'm still a health book, you know, board. I love my health books. And I read a lot of those.
All righty. So tell me, what would you say? You've lived a long life. You lived to be 100. And tell me, do you have the secret? What's a secret? Tell us all. We want to know the secret of living to be 100.
I have no secret. See, I have no secret. I never smoked. I never drank. I guess I lived a good, clean life, put it that way. And with God's help, I'm still here.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed meeting a few of our Berks County centenarians, and maybe we've both picked up a few tips on how to achieve the ripe old age of 100. Thanks for watching Aging Matters.